My opinion of Cyberpunk 2077 has changed drastically since my first playthrough. In my first play in 2020, I wasn't that impressed. I thought I could separate my personal feelings about the game from its technical issues and all the public criticism, but I guess I couldn't. Back then, Night City just felt like an empty stylish without a soul. The corporate tyranny storyline and Johnny Silverhand's character were all like things I'd seen somewhere before. So I wrapped up my first run after only finishing the main quest, watching the Devil and Sun endings. I just left the game disappointed after waiting for it so long. I wonder if my opinion would have been different if I had played the Aldecaldos ending then. I didn't pay much attention to the Aldecaldos in the first playthrough. I did their quest and saw the Pan Am events, but maybe I wasn't ready to understand them. During 2020, I was lonely, hated the world, and didn't believe in the warmth of a community or other people. That's why when Johnny said that his hatred of the corporation is based on his previous experience living with the nomads, I doubted his integrity. I thought he's just trying to justify his violent behavior. We often interpret others' intention in a way that reflects our own view of the world. Insincere people might not trust anyone, and shallow people believe every motive is based on profit. That same year, I played Yakuza Like a Dragon 7. In contrast to Cyberpunk, this game gave me immense courage while having a very difficult time. I was going through the darkest period of my life. In a previous video, I said that I spent 2 more years than others to get into the university. But I failed to find value and purpose in the major I chose. Because of the time and energy I'd already invested, I thought I had no other choice. I spent years trying to force myself to fit in, but it all came to nothing. I ran away, cut off contact with everyone, and worked a job that had nothing to do with what I have studied. I thought my life was a complete failure, trying not to think about the future and drinking alcohol every day. Looking back now, I wasn't even that old. But at the time, I was convinced that I would never get a second chance. In this game, the protagonist Kasuga Ichiban takes the false charge for the son of his boss and goes to prison. After spending 18 years, he gets out in his 40s and finds out that his old gang had abandoned him. His trusted boss shoots him and he wakes up in the back alley just barely surviving. I mean, can you imagine? A gangster over 40 years old with no skills or knowledge who's been cut off from the world for 18 years is just thrown back into society. But as you watch his journey, you can truly accept the message. A person can always start over. He's abandoned with bare hands, but he never despairs. Instead, he tries his best to figure out what he can do now. And he doesn't just try to survive alone. He helps others and rises together with them. The previous Yakuza games were solo action brawlers, but in this game, the system was changed to a turn-based RPG where a strong team is crucial. This change perfectly matches the game's message. Kasuga doesn't easily judge or mistreat anyone, including himself. The homeless, thugs, sex workers, and unemployed people that he meets in the game might seem like mere extras unrelated to our own lives. But when you look closely, you might discover that they are all human beings worthy of respect, each with their own fire and love inside them. Because the game builds up this perspective on the marginalized, you can finally accept the message that no life is a failure and it's okay to start over. In a crowd city, people become so individualized that it's easy to be indifferent and cold to each other. Many people quickly slap a label on others based on their external factors, social status, appearance, cars, and so on, and ignore them if they don't seem important. When I put those same labels on myself, I became a worthless person too. Back then, I was indifferent to others too, because I couldn't love myself. And that indifference only made me more isolated. I thought my life was over because I failed to achieve my own success. But what brought me back up wasn't an iron will or a brilliant idea. It was the warmth of the people around me. After finding good people, I took a long time to rebuild my life and reconnect with my humanity. I could finally love my life again. My second chance with Cyberpunk came with Edge Runners, the animated movie on Netflix. This spin-off show revealed the true potential of this world and changed the game's fate forever. It was a sharp commentary on the failures of extreme privatization and neoliberalism, which reminded me of what the cyberpunk genre was originally meant to satirize. Edge Runner shows us what is truly valuable and beautiful in a life that has become so vulgar despite all the advanced technology. When I returned to Night City after that experience, it resonated with me far deeper than before. I realized that this beautiful city, embroidered in detail with Bulgar, was filled with messages in every nook and cranny. Then came Phantom Liberty, which finally completed the game's redemption arc. Now, no one would laugh if I said Cyberpunk 2077 is a great game. Sometimes the gunplay in this game feels so good, even better than Doom Eternal. The gun animations and sounds are really great. But more of that, the feeling that the combat happens in a living, breathing, organic world makes every fight special. When I returned to Night City, my biggest rediscovery was the Aldecaldos. Unlike before, I wasn't alone. I was learning to make peace with the world. Now I could see the sincerity in Johnny's rage against corporations, and I could feel the fiery spirit of the Aldecaldos holding on to their warmth in this broken world. It feels like the Aldecaldos were the model answer for the game's message. In the harsh desert outside the city, they chose a traditional way of survival, clinging together and cherishing one another. Because they're nomads, they are all brilliant mechanics deeply connected to their cars. But in their camp, they gather around a bonfire singing songs with a guitar in an old-fashioned way. After spending too long in Night City, the loneliness and alienation felt suffocating. But once I leave the concrete jungle and head to the desert, it feels like I can finally breathe. It made me wonder why everyone doesn't just leave the city. But perhaps that's the trap of Night City. It paralyzes you to the point where you stop even thinking about it. Experiencing the Aldecaldos, a group-like family, was like a single ray of light in the gutter. There's a quest to obtain an artificial organ for a friend named Scooter. Even in this simple quest, you can't get betrayed, and without V's help, Scooter is doomed to die. But if you complete the quest, you get to see him singing by the campfire in the final chapter. This song perfectly summarizes the very existence of Aldecaldos. In a world of cyberhumans full of noisy electronic musics, this traditional and stubborn act of singing and playing a guitar is their way of rebelling against Night City. Becoming a legend is an esteemed purpose among the people of Night City. It seems they accept a world where the strong survive and the rest are left behind. In a competitive society, self-realization can seem like the highest goal, which makes us put too much meaning on individual ability. But we humans form societies and created cultures because we learn to come together and protect the weak. When I watched the sun ending in the first play, V becomes a legend and flies into space, but all that fame and glory felt as hollow as my own state alone in my room. In the star ending, V could not escape his doom after all. But he overcomes the despair of his own demise by leaving a legacy in others. Many people, including me before, live as if self-realization is the fundamental goal of existence. But don't we feel our self-worth become greater through selfless acts? I read this line in the novel The Stranger Next Door by Amelino Thomp that said, "People are in the habit of loving those they have helped." It wasn't a heartwarming story, by the way. I thought my life would be happier by filling it with the people I like. Perhaps individuals might achieve true self-realization when they're connected to each other. We might all go through a difficult time someday or become weaker than we ever imagined. But no matter what trials come in our way, we are never doomed. What if we just reach out for each other a little? It's easy to dismiss a stranger we meet on the street. But a society will be terrible where everyone treats each other that way. If you look closely, everyone has a lovely side. I'm a too timid person to live with a passion like Kasuga, but I want to try harder to look for a bright side in this world.